Good morning, everyone. My name is Sim, and I'm here to talk to you today about my story. On August 26th, I turned 11 years old, and on that same day, I started 6th grade. I have a red belt in martial arts, and I am on the June black belt promotion list. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in July, and I will be in my first competition in December. I really enjoy cooking and baking at home, and my collection of cookbooks is rapidly growing. I was very busy over this summer. I went to the Texas Lions Camp for Kids with Disabilities, followed by a sightseeing mini vacation in Austin with my family. We took several trips to the libraries in both Frisco and Plano. We went to a Rough Riders baseball game on one of those July days that was unexpectedly super cool. And we saw a Texas Rangers game on one of those sweltering, blistering, hot Texas days we had in early September. But the pool was a super welcome relief when we got home afterwards. We went ice skating twice over the summer, which was great. The trip to see the Barnum and Bailey Circus was amazing. Of course, we went to a favorite annual event, Dairy Queen CMN Miracle Treat Day. Yum. We saw FC Dallas soccer games and went to enjoy Hawaiian Falls this summer, which fell on my older brother Seth's birthday. A visit to the Children's Aquarium at Fair Park for the first time, where we got to feed stingrays, was a big favorite. In the last few months, we have seen 10 movies at the theater. Wow. All the while, I attended martial arts 5 or 6 times a week during the summer. And here we are to the present with me back in school, where I'm proud to be in the accelerated pace class and in honors math. I hope that didn't bore you. I did have a reason to tell you about some of the things that I've been up to. The point is that I could do those things. Now I'll tell you a bit about my diagnosis. In March of 2009, my mother spoke to me, and when I looked up at her, one of my eyes crossed. She watched it over time and asked me questions on whether I felt like throwing up or if I had headaches, and I always told her everything was fine because it was. One June night, my other eye crossed for the first time, and for the first time that night, I made little hum sounds while she was talking. She asked why I was doing that, and my answer was that my throat must hurt. My mom knew then that I was going to be seen by my doctor, rapidly. Our family doctor examined me and actually did not find anything wrong, but he knew my mom and trusted her instincts, so he ordered an MRI for me. Shortly after it was done, I was brought into the recovery room to start being woken up from anesthesia. While I was in there, the radiologist came in and motioned my mother out of the room. My mom knew right then that she was correct in what she had thought was wrong with me. I had a brain tumor. I was admitted that night to Dallas Children's Medical Center. My tumor was caught before seizures or worse, so the doctors had decided that since I was stable, they would have me on steroids for several days before they went in to do a biopsy and to create a temporary drain for the fluid that was backed up in my head. It was that fluid that caused my eyes to cross from pressure on my optic nerves and from my odd speech. Before we knew it, it was surgery morning already. A few hours later, I was in recovery, which was so busy that they only allow one parent at a time to come see you. I have some vague memories from the hectic recovery room, seeing first my dad and then my mom. After the biopsy, my medical team decided that my tumor was too big to treat just with chemotherapy and that surgery was my only good option. After learning about the plan, we just settled into a long, quiet 6 weeks, resting at home with my amazing Winnie the Pooh. On August 6th, my parents were the first family in the surgery waiting room and watched one family after another come and go until finally they were the last family in there waiting. When it was their turn to be called back, they both got to come see me together this time, but I did not see them. Because of what I had gone through all day, my little body decided what it needed most was sleep, and it refused to wake up even with them trying so hard to rouse me. So I was in ICU a bit longer than planned. I didn't start to stir until about a day after I was expected to be awake, and it took a few days for me to really shake it off and be present and accounted for. On the morning I checked out after the big surgery, I climbed into a little red wagon and was pulled down to the lobby of the hospital. While waiting with my mom for my dad to pull the car around, I was watching the kids and families coming in the door. I told my mom that when I grew up, I wanted to be a doctor to help kids like me. There I was, a 6-year-old boy in pain, unable to stand without help, working on recovering from my second brain surgery in less than 2 months, and my thought was about helping others. We learned a few weeks after surgery that the tumor that was removed was actually a unique one and cannot be neatly classified. It was upgraded to a grade 2 tumor with grade 3 characteristics because it was not a quote-unquote traditional juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma like they thought from my article. Since it cannot all be safely removed from my brainstem, I get regular MRIs and will always have to watch what is left. If it changes, I will immediately begin chemotherapy. Just weeks after the big surgery, it was the first day of school. My surgeon only took my hair along the incision, but it was a long zigzag from one ear to the other. With my dark hair, it was a very obvious incision, so I went to school prepared. I had a one-page speech ready so that I could talk to my second grade classmates about what happened to me. I didn't want anyone to be afraid of me or wondering why I would have to rest and sit out at PE and recess for a while. So we thought it was a good idea to just jump in on the first day of school and get it all out there. That was my first speech, and ever since then I've been fortunate to give speeches to several children's charities to help kids with illnesses of all kinds. I am much improved from the short-term memory problems I originally had. My balance is so much better than it was thanks largely to the martial arts classes I take. I have right-sided weakness post-surgery, so it is challenging for me to hold a pen and write since I am right-handed. My brain processes all that I hear like your brains do, but it takes longer for mine to go through the process and work its way out in my speaking a reply or my writing an answer if there is a time limit like a test or if I am nervous in a new situation. That right-sided weakness has affected my right eye too, so my focusing muscles don't work so well. The tumor had impacted my growth, slowing it down, and in January I may be starting on growth hormone therapy since my growth velocity has been behind me for more than half my life now. I tire more easily, but you know what? Overall, I have nothing to complain about. 95% of my tumor was removed, and I am here today with my family and enjoying my life. My doctors had the tools and knowledge to make the right choices for my care, and with the support of organizations like Children's Miracle Network, these hospitals have the necessary technology, facilities, and funding for needed pediatric research, allowing more and more patients to get through the great outcome I've been lucky enough to have. I was so honored last year to learn that I have been chosen to represent the state of Texas as the 2012 Texas Champion for Children's Miracle Network. You wouldn't believe how inspiring it was for me to be around the champions from all the states when we traveled to Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida last September. Jenny from Alabama, who was also diagnosed with a brain tumor, went through even more on her journey than I did. But like me, she speaks to raise funds for sick kids, and I look up to her. Cody from Hawaii has a rare vessel condition in his brain that led him to be in a coma for weeks, and now does activity after activity to raise funds and awareness for CMN while continuing his recovery on a day-to-day basis, and always seems to have a huge smile on his face. All those kids were such an inspiration. If me and other kids like me can champion causes to help others, then anyone can. Just like what you are doing right now in your partnership with CMN. I had a life before diagnosis, during, and even more so after. Fundraising for Children's Miracle Network helps real kids just like me. I understand that you are partnering with CMN and Angela to be an important part of the annual Radiothon. Radiothon is very special to my heart. In December of 2009, my very first opportunity to help CMN was to come up to the hospital to take care of me and participate with so many special people at the Radiothon, which sure is a happy memory. Enjoy the experience. Be proud of your efforts and know without doubt that what you do is appreciated and really does make a difference. Thank you for your patience in allowing me to take you on this journey this morning. Have a great day and stay dry.